Hello everyone, and welcome back to another one of our best of 2019 videos. Today we are talking polyester tennis strings. As I mentioned in the grips video, the way this works is this is not the best new product of 2019. It's just the best thing money can buy in 2019. So that could mean that the string was released in 1999 or that it was released in 2019. Doesn't matter, okay? The other problem with these videos is that we can only base this off of what I've tried. There are a million polyester offerings out there, and it wouldn't surprise me if there were some strings out there I just haven't got to yet that maybe could bump something out of this top three that we are going to go over. And let's get right into it. Number three, one of the GOATs. It's been around forever. Luxilon Alu Power. Okay, just an amazing, amazing polyester tennis string that a lot of research and development went into. You look at all of these different shaped and textured and blah, 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 when it comes to the technology involved in polyester tennis strings. But I don't really think that the amount of time and effort that went into Alu Power as being one of the originals has been put into many of the new strings that are out there on the market. They just say it's a new shape, it's a new coating material, but do they really do any of the research? They do any of the hardcore play testing? I doubt it. And that's one of the reasons why Alu Power has stood the test of time. In terms of just raw feel off the string bed, the pop, the crispness for a polyester, Alu Power is at the top. The playability is amazing. Okay, and the control is there. And I mean, that's why it's designed. Now, I would like it to have a little more control, a little less power, but that's because I take wild cuts at the ball. If I could only have one string and money wasn't an option, right? Money wasn't a part of the factor, wasn't part of the equation, if you will. And I had somebody else stringing the rackets so that I didn't have to waste all the time doing it. I would love to use Alu Power. It would probably be my number one, but that's why it exists here at number three, is that's not the case. After 3-4 hours of playing with that string, heavy hitting, the string just falls off a cliff. It's time to cut out and restring with Alu Power. The tension loss is very noticeable. It happens very quickly, and the price for what it is, for how long the string plays at its best, is relatively high relative to other polyester tennis strings. So that's why that string exists at number three. At number two is probably the biggest surprise in all of these lists, and that would be Tier 1's Black Knight. Anybody using RPM Blast, I'd strongly recommend that you give Tier 1's Black Knight a try and see what you think. Do a little compare and contrast. I'm sure some people are going to favor RPM Blast, others are going to be like me and on that Tier 1 bandwagon. Now, I'm going to have to try RPM again and put it in both rackets and really do a side-by-side shootout where there's as few other variables as possible. But I love the control that Black Knight offers. The feel is pretty good. It's obviously not going to feel as good as our number one or as our number three. But in terms of just pure control, you can swing like a madman with that string, and you'd be surprised how many balls still drop in and stay in the court. So for your pure control-oriented polyester string, I have to put Tier 1's Black Knight at number two. And then number one, this one is not going to be a surprise to anybody who has ever been to my website or watches these videos. It's the string I always come back to and try to compare other strings to, and that would be the lime green one, Solinco's Hyper G. This is number one. And the reason for that is, of those other two strings, this one kind of strikes a balance of the two, okay? It still has that nice feel, that nice response, not as good as Alu Power, but certainly better than Black Knight. And then when it comes to playability, again, it exists somewhere in that middle ground. Plenty of control, but still some power to boot. So I think for me, Hyper G, number one. You can play with it longer than you can play with Alu Power as well. Probably similar amount of time that you can play with Black Knight. It kind of is just a tempering down of that RPM Blast or that Black Knight sort of string. So for me, of strings available in 2019, polyesters, the number one string is going to Solinco Hyper G. So I'm looking forward to next year, trying another 20 or 30 polyester strings and seeing if anything can knock out Alu Power, Black Knight, or Hyper G. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with another one of these videos very soon. Take care.